$65 million worth of rare coins were sold at the 2022 US Coin Signature Fun Auction by Heritage. Here are just a few of the highlights. The first coin we will look at is one that is extremely familiar to Lincoln penny collectors. A coin from the first year of production for this long-serving series, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln Cent. The coin had barely entered into production before dissatisfied voices were raised concerning the prominence of designer Victor D. Brenner's initials of VDB on the reverse of the coin. The mint's response was simply to halt production and remove the initials altogether. As a result, only 484,000 1909 VDB pennies were struck at the San Francisco Mint, making it a major rarity for today's collectors. Here we see the coin tied for finest certified at PCGS as an MS67 Red. By auction's end, this coin had changed hands for $108,000. Proof Morgan dollars, in general, struck between 1896 and 1899, have a great reputation for being extremely well-executed proof issues. This 1899 Proof Morgan is not only not an exception to that, but an absolute prime example of it. Not only is the strike and preservation state almost flawless, but the toning is unlike anything you've likely seen in quite some while, ranging from steely, almost hypnotic blues in the center, to golden, and finally to light rosy oranges and reds nearer the rim. At a grade of Proof 68 plus Cameo, there are none finer certified either. It sold at auction for $144,000. The early 1790s was a fascinating period for US numismatics. The creation of the US Mint in 1792 fostered great anticipation for the creation of the new federal currency system. While David Rittenhouse and his mint officials were hard at work laying the groundwork for this at the fledgling mint, private industry was also very eager to participate in the process, and part of that effort, although this point is debated by some sources, were coins struck, rather ironically, at Obadiah Westwood's Birmingham Mint in England, including the Washington Roman head cent seen here. This example graded by PCGS as Proof 66 Brown and sold at auction for $144,000. What we have next is an extremely rare and unique item, a production prototype for a 1971 Eisenhower dollar, used by US Mint chief engraver Frank Sparrow to hone in on the final design details of the coin after the major elements were already approved for production, but before it went into final production. The differences between this and the final circulation coin are extremely minor, and note that this is different from a pattern coin in that regard. The unfinished moon on the reverse stands as a dead giveaway of this coin's prototype status. This is one of only 3 working prototypes known to have escaped the mint. Graded by PCGS as SP67, it manages to raise $264,000 at its very first ever auction appearance. Though other coins authorized under the Mint Act of 1792 may have been minted earlier, the honor of being the first coin struck inside the confines of the new US Mint building in Philadelphia falls to the 1792 pattern cents and deems. What we are looking at now is just such an example of a 1792 pattern deem struck in copper. This superb coin is graded by PCGS as SP64 Brown, and at auction it raised $1,170,000. Despite the coin being a staple of the hobby today, the quarter dollar was not minted at all for the first 4 years of the US Mint being in operation, the first coins only seeing the light of day in 1796. Sharing the same drape bust obverse and small eagle reverse design as all of the silver coins produced during that time, the mintage of 6,146 coins demonstrates what a low priority the quarter was to the mint at that time, along with the fact, of course, that the mint wasn't even producing the coin again until 1804. The coin is a beautiful MS66 example of this rare issue that managed to get a final price at auction of $1,740,000. 1861 is certainly marked as an interesting year for double eagle collectors. Not only did it produce the fantastically rare Paquet reverse double eagles, but the proof coin of the same year is one of the rarest in the entire series, which is peculiar since the circulating coin is contrastingly one of the most common. The onset of the Civil War in April of that same year likely had something to do with the fact that only 5 of these coins are known to have survived to this day. Here we have one of those, graded by PCGS as Proof 66 Deep Cameo, and at auction this coin achieved a closing price of $1.8 million. The idea behind the Bickford dollars was a deceptively simple one, and then simultaneously also an impossibly complicated one to actually implement in practice. As such, they never truly made it out of the patent phase. The idea itself, to create a coin that would not only be recognized and also exchangeable in most of Northern America and Europe in order to facilitate international trade. As such, the Bickford dollar, named after its progenitor, businessman Dana Bickford, would have not a single but rather 6 currencies, along with its gold weight and fineness stamped on it. $10 for the Americas, £2, 1 shilling and 1 pence sterling for the British Isles, 41.99 Marken for the German Empire, 37.31 Kronen to aid in trade for the Austro-Hungarian territories, 20.73 Guilder or Gulden for the Netherlands, and then 51.81 francs for France. Today, only 2 of these coins are known to exist in gold. This example, graded as Proof 65 plus Cameo from PCGS, fell under the auctioneer's gavel for $1,980,000. The 1796 No Stars Quarter stands as a bit of a curiosity within the $2.50 gold series. It is, as the name suggests, the only quarter eagle that does not include the obverse stars as a part of its design. The reason for this omission is not exactly clear either, with several theories espousing a possible transitional error, design variety, or simple experimentation by the mint. Whatever the initial reason might have been, it is certain, however, today that only a trivial amount of these coins were struck, with the best estimates pinning the mintage at around 963 coins for this issue. This coin is the sole finest graded at PCGS with a grade of MS62 plus, with a pedigree coming from the Simpson collection. It sold at auction for $2,160,000. Now, it is said that gold is king. And if that is true, then as the largest ever gold ingot recovered from the shipwreck of the infamous SS Central America, to be offered at auction, this Just and Hunter gold bar might just be the one to rule them all, justifiably earning itself a full 4-page life-size centerfold spread in the auction catalog. This sultry gold brick tips the scales at 866.19 ounces of 0.892 finest gold. The contemporary value of this ingot when it was cast in 1857 was an astounding $15,971.93. Considering that the average daily wage of a skilled carpenter in New York City at that time was $1.79. Well, that should put into perspective just how much wealth this truly represents, both then and in fact now, as it achieved a closing price at auction of $2,160,000. 1795 was the first year that the US Mint would produce gold coins for circulation, and the $10 gold coin, or Eagle as it would become known, was to form the backbone of the gold series, as the silver dollar was in fact the anchor point for the entire series as a whole. A number of varieties are known to have been made, but only one, the BD3 type, used this reverse design, where only 9 leaves appear on the palm front that the eagle is clutching in its talons, as opposed to the usual 13. It is estimated that only 20 to perhaps 22 of these coins have survived to this day, and what we see here is the single finest known certified example of the rare 9 leaves variety, graded as PCGS MS63+ with the coveted CAC seal of approval, for which this popular landmark rarity was able to secure a closing price at auction of $3,360,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.